Hey, welcome into DomTime. It's the weekly roundup, Wednesday nights, when we bring in some of the Delaware Valley's most esteemed pundits, and we have people tonight that have beyond jack of all trades. Joining me tonight on our pundit circuit is Chuck Darrow. I've known Chuck for a number of years. Currently, among other things, he's a features and entertainment writer specializing in casinos and theater for the Philadelphia Daily News. And Ken Dunnick, who is somebody we go to with sports coverage, but way beyond that in just about anything. And Ken, tip of the hat to you at the Eagles' first practice with Chip Kelly earlier this week. Your number was retired, I've told her, something of the sort. What happened?
It wasn't
there?
retired. They called it out amongst a lot of Eagles greats. There was Brian Dawkins and
you were right there.
And McNabb, and I was a close second to those big names. But hey, listen. The Eagles were very magnanimous in putting that on for all of us. Of course, it's a big thrill for me to even be associated with those guys. And I had a short stint with that team, but they remember their past, and it's truly appreciated.
That's a good thing. And I know the Phillies do, too. They have that wall of fame, et cetera. Now, one guy they're remembering, Donovan McNabb, has retired as an Eagle earlier this week. And I wanted to talk about McNabb because the guy had a tremendous record here.
He did.
But there was never a big connection with the town. And he's in the category of some of these guys. Aaron Rowan is the guy that comes to mind. He's a 260 hitter, runs with his face into the fence and holds on to the ball. Mm-hmm. That's it. He's in the Philadelphia Hall of Fame. Donovan McNabb, 35,000 yards, whatever. Maybe. You
know, it's funny about this city. If they perceive that you're giving all that you have and lay it all on the line, you've got them. But, you know, McNabb had a couple things. Number one, he came up small in big spots. You know, the NFC Championship games, he played poorly. The Super Bowl, he had 3 interceptions and played poorly.
We have established that.
Right. Well, that's the legend.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, then there was the awkward moments. You know, the Michael Jackson dance didn't go too well. The yawning before a game. Let me tell you something. I played in a lot of professional football games. I never once had the inclination to yawn before a football game because I knew my life was on the line. So I think it was those types of incidents that McNabb was guilty of that were caught by the camera that actually, you know, set him apart. And really, you never really got the warm and fuzzies with McNabb.
I think he could have stopped it at came up small in the big game.
Yeah.
If they had won that Super Bowl game, the Donovan McNabb statue would be on top of City Hall today. That's all that matters to people.
We'd be a pass. It would be like this.
I think that's what it boils down to.
Well, I think the perception of him would be different had they won the Super Bowl.
It would be. But let me talk about Philadelphia people. You've covered everybody 40 years. You've written about a lot of them. You've written these long profile pieces. Who are some of the quintessential? Joey Vento is one who was a friend.
Joey Vento, right.
That's Philadelphia. For good and for the worse, you're not finding Joey Vento in a town like Phoenix.
No. Joey, there was a guy who passed away many years ago, Stanley Green.
Oh, sure,
absolutely. He billed himself as, he wasn't, no, you're thinking somebody else, no. But you're right, he was a man about town, a boulevardier, is that the word? I never figured out exactly how he made any money.
You two guys are a man about town.
Jerry Blavitt, the Geeter, you can't go to Indianapolis and find someone, and even explain the Geeter to someone who did not grow up here. And it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking a couple weeks ago about that we're not seeing people like that as much in Philadelphia. There doesn't seem to be any new characters. There doesn't seem to be any new. That's a great. I wish I knew.
Yeah, I'd have to think.
I don't. You know, with the proliferation of media and self-generated media, you would think there would be more, not less. I don't know why.
I got to ask that, Chuck. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Got so many other things I want to move on to. Ken, you're the go-to guy on this. Anthony Weiner, we were talking about before the show. We were talking about how does a guy just continue on? Power, he's motivated, he's got a wife that's willing to put up with this for some reason. But 78% of young women, 18 to 25-ish in a poll, said they like Weiner, power is an aphrodisiac, and they get it with this guy. Yeah. Is this the apocalypse, or what do you think?
Well, the world has gone a bit upside down for sure, and I'd like to see the website where they got those
SugarDaddy.com.
Yeah, well,
it's like Gallup.
Yeah, that makes some sense there. But you know, we were talking earlier that there is a certain value to being famous, even if the publicity is bad. And I think Weiner is cashing in on that. I don't think he has any chance to win that mayoral race, but he's going to be on talk shows. He's probably going to write a book. You know, he'll get
a pundit's job.
Yeah, he'll get something out of this.
Well, Elliot Spitzer.
What difference? I've interviewed Spitzer and done it in person. More serious guy, I think Wiener's a lot worse guy. And Spitzer is running for a lower office.
But I'm
That's
saying,
one thing.
But he resigned in disgrace, and now
Exactly.
he's back. And
Exactly.
now he's a a
I don't
brand.
think this would happen in Philadelphia to have a Spitzer and a Wiener.
No.
I don't think so.
And when you have the name like Wiener and you're
Right.
sexting, you gotta think you can't write this stuff.
God's gift to the late night
Exactly.
talk show.
Let's talk.
He likes to be referred to as Carlos Danger.
Right.
That's
So
exactly
let's
right.
just get that.
Let's get an update from you so we don't forget. Last time you were on, we talked about AC. This is a
Right.
big summer for Atlantic
Yes.
City. I've been down there 3 or 4 times already this year. Don't see huge crowds. I'm going during the week, et cetera. How are they doing?
Okay, I'm just coming off. Today is my first day back in the real world after 2 weeks vacation.
Right.
So I have not been in Atlantic City since the first week of July. But I made some calls, talked to friends down there, and said, hey, I'm going to do this thing. I need to kind of update what's going on. And the sense that I'm getting is that expectations are being met, not exceeded. Things are not as they should be. The boardwalk should be absolutely packed this time of year. Apparently it's not, but things are not horrible down there. And I just talked to a friend of mine at one of the casinos today, and he said that the place was absolutely packed. So it seems like they're sort of, what's the word? I don't want to say spinning their wheels. I think they're sort of leveling out there. Things are not getting better the way they need to get better.
And what do
But
they need to do? They got Miss America coming up, right?
Miss America's, but I mean, how many? I personally am one of the few media people who actually. I endorse the Miss America pageant as a father of 2 now young women in their 20s, neither of whom ever had any interest in it. But if they had come to me and said, you know what, I want to do this, there's a lot worse things for young women to get involved with than the Miss America pageant. Yeah. And I think it's a wonderful tradition, and it belongs in Atlantic City, but that's not the magic bullet to change this town. And the fact is that there are a lot of people, there'll be a couple thousand people in town in September, in mid-September, in hotel rooms that gamblers will not be able to use. And the people who are coming from out of town for the pageant, they may throw $20 into a slot machine, but they're not going to really pay the bills there. So it's a nice thing for Atlantic City, but in the scheme of things, it's not what's going to work.
Yeah, I think that's the main point, is that there are some crowds in Atlantic City. They're just not going to the gaming tables. June, their gambling revenue was off 12.6%. It's been off in April, March,
It's
May.
been off for 7
And
years,
it's
except for 1
parks,
month.
and it's a casino.
It's
Yeah, there's
convenience
competition.
gambling, right?
Hey,
It's
there were
essentially
some weather issues this
Right.
summer as well. One less Friday in
right,
June.
exactly.
There's a lot of factors.
But it's convenience gambling, because if you're not interested in $200 spa treatments or $200 dinners, if all you want to play is slot machine, why would you travel an hour and a half from, say, Northeast Philly to Atlantic City when in 15 minutes you can be at parks?
The ambiance of Atlantic City.
Right.
All right.
So-
More coming up. I want to talk steroids next with Ken Dunnick and Chuck Darrow as we continue with our weekly roundup on DomTime.